Until we make the unconscious conscious, we will continue to live our lives and just call it fate. Going to work on yourself, identifying how you are holding yourself back in achieving any of the goals or the dreams that you've yet to achieve, that for me is the most important question to be asking yourself or one another. As a human being, you have the most powerful ability to make a different choice. So for me, when I hear somebody say, it's just the way I am, all I hear them saying is, I have no ability to change. I documented in the book, I give personal experience as to where I've hung on to limiting beliefs that probably formed earlier on in life based on who I was and the things that I believed at the time. Because they become unconscious, these limiting beliefs, we do carry them unconsciously later into life. Are my thoughts and my beliefs serving me well for the life I want to live? Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Thoughtonomy Podcast. And what I'm going to do today is go through chapter 3 of the book. We're trying to put a series together of short little synopsises of the chapters. So without giving too much away, the title of this chapter is called The Pebble in Your Shoe. And I love this metaphor. I use it a lot in my talks where we talk about this pebble in the shoe. And where it comes from is a quote from Muhammad Ali. He didn't originate, I don't think he was the original man to quote this, but he certainly made it popular. And in the quote, what he says, it's never the heart of the mountain that holds you back, but rather the pebble in your shoe. I'll repeat that. It's not the heart of the mountain that holds you back, but rather the pebble in your shoe. And what it's talking about is whenever we are faced as human beings with a challenge or the beginning of a new journey, when you're standing at the bottom of the mountain and you're looking at the top, it looks so far away. So the metaphor of the mountain can relate to anything in your life. It's day one of a new job. It's day one of a career in sales or day one in starting out in real estate. It could be day one after rebuilding a business after you've just lost a business. It could be day one of living the rest of your life after you've lost a loved one. Day one of divorce. Day one of anything where you've got this long journey ahead of you and you're standing at the bottom of the mountain, staring at the top, and it can be so overwhelming and so daunting that you fail to take the most important step. And that is to take the first step. So I love this quote because it refers to the heart of the mountain, but it's never the heart of the mountain or the journey ahead that holds you back. It's us as human beings. We have these pebbles in our shoe. It's like that little stone in your shoe that when you're walking on the promenade or you're going for a hike in the mountains and you've got this irritating stone in your shoe. You don't know how it gets there, but you don't stop to take it out. You carry on walking. We just adjust it or we kick it so that the stone is on the outside of our foot. And the reason we don't stop is because we've got momentum. If we're on this journey of life, sometimes we feel that in order to stop, we break momentum. So we carry on with this little pain of the pebble in the shoe. And the pebble in the shoe for you and I it's an insecurity, it's a fear, it's a lack of confidence, it's a form of self-doubt. It's something within ourselves that's holding us back, but we don't stop to address it. And quite often it's unconscious, which means we may not even be aware that it's there. But what happens with walking with the stone or the pebble in your shoe is eventually you take a step and that little stone is under your heel and you stand on the stone, and that's where the pain comes. And it's only when we experience pain in our life sometimes do we stop, take off our shoe, get rid of the stone, break momentum, have a pause so that we can go to work on ourselves, address whatever the pebble in the shoe is. And when we start walking again, we actually realize, wow, gosh, I should have done that sooner. And that's the concept of this chapter in the book. Is that every single one of us as human beings, we talk the same language. As I talk to you right now, I don't talk to you as somebody who has no pebbles in his shoe. I'm not talking to you as somebody who is perfect. I honestly believe that all of us are imperfectly perfect. But more than that, I think as human beings, we get to relate to one another more because of the fact that we do all speak this similar language. And what I mean by that, it's the language of self-doubt, insecurities, fears, all the things that we have deep down inside of us that we may not admit to somebody else, but it certainly is something that holds us back or sometimes prevents us from taking the step towards the direction of the life that we want to live. And I think if you're listening to the podcast right now, like if you know what that pebble is, if you know what that thing is in your mind that's holding you back, write it down, acknowledge it, make it consciously or make yourself consciously aware of it, and then we can go to work on it. Because there's an amazing quote, I've probably mentioned it before, by psychologist Carl Jung. He says, "Until we make the unconscious conscious, we will continue to live our lives and just call it fate." So going to work on yourself, identifying how you are holding yourself back in achieving any of the goals or the dreams that you've yet to achieve, that for me is the most important question to be asking yourself or one another. And it comes out in little ways in life as well. And one of the ways I see it coming out is I see it in my business, is when I will give people a blueprint or a formula for success, which requires that they take action. And the person will sit in front of me and agree with the blueprint and the course of action, and they'll nod their heads and they know that's what they've got to do, but they won't take action. There'll be something that's holding them back. And what I try and get them to do is to identify what is the pebble in your shoe, what is the thought or the limiting belief or the belief that you're hanging on to, or the fear or the insecurity. What is it within you that's preventing you from taking this action? And quite often one of the answers I get is, well, it's just the way I am. Those 6 words, it's just the way I am, for me is it's personal surrender. It's you going, it's just the way I am. I have no way of changing, or I have made a decision that I have no ability to change. And the thing with the decision is, and by the way, any limiting belief is a decision that you make on some level, consciously or unconsciously. But the thing with the decision is that if you've made a decision to believe something about yourself or about the world around you, you also, as a human being, have the ability to change your mind and to make a different decision. And if making a different decision moves you onto the path of happiness and success, and whatever that is that you define happiness and success by, then as a human being, you have the most powerful ability to make a different choice. So for me, when I hear somebody say, it's just the way I am, all I hear them saying is, I have no ability to change. And I do not fundamentally agree with that. And I've been challenged many times in my life on this. And I document it in the book. I give personal experience as to where I've hung on to limiting beliefs that probably formed earlier on in life based on who I was and the things that I believed at the time. But because they become unconscious, these limiting beliefs, we do carry them unconsciously later into life. So it may have been a decision that was helping me or protecting me when I was young, but now in my 30s or my 40s, those same beliefs can also now start to hold me back. And I think that's where, as human beings, we have to recognize, what is the pebble in the shoe? Is there a way that I'm thinking? Is there something I believe in that might have helped me back in childhood or earlier in my life when it was protecting me from something, but right now they're not serving me well? So they served me well then, but these thoughts and beliefs are not serving me well for what I want to achieve in my life right now. And this is the power of conditioning. It really is. The power of a conditioned mind. It's very, very powerful, especially on an unconscious level. So I think just take from today this whole concept of the pebble in my shoe or the pebble in your shoe. Question yourself, how might my thoughts and my beliefs be holding me back? Or alternatively, are my thoughts and my beliefs serving me well for the life I want to live? If you're achieving the results that you want to get from your life right now, then it's possible that they are. But if I have goals and dreams and aspirations and I keep bumping my head and I can't quite get there, ask yourself the question, how are my thoughts and my beliefs serving me well in achieving the life that I want to live for myself. And I think I'm going to leave it there for today. So thanks for listening. That's chapter 3 of the book. Watch out for the next one, where we'll go through chapter 4. As always, if you're interested in a copy of the book, thoughtonomybook.co.za. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.